I suppose by now everyone has been made privy to the Jeffrey Toobin Zoom call debacle. There were several things that I noticed about this situation, such as timing, when it happened, and the absolute bevy of coverage the alleged illicit action received. But I'll give you all my thoughts on that in a few minutes. Greetings and welcome back to Here's What I Heard. I'm Laura DeGoddess, your hostess. Thank you so much for clicking on my little acre of the internet today. I'm making this video mainly to highlight some of the coverage that I thought ended up being the funniest on the internet and other places. This actual presentation will include the many names that this action is called. Some are clever and some are just blunt, but we get the picture either way. And I don't know about anybody else, but that day that it happened and everybody was covering it, I couldn't stop laughing, so I figured I'd share some of my joy with everybody else. Anyway, my disclaimer in this is that I am in no way shaming anyone for doing this action. Is actually what I learned in my psychology classes and everything like that, that this is an extremely normal and human action. However, the timing and the situation is what I actually have a problem with. Now, the only folks I have ever seen doing anything like this at inappropriate times and places are usually extremely mentally ill. So again, that's why I would never actually make fun of anyone for doing this act. Just the terrible decisions and situations in which you have done said act. Not to mention the fact that this alleged act was done before a pretty prestigious audience, including himself, actually. Toobin has been in... Toobin has been in the news and analyst business for a really long time. He's a law analyst. So, did he snap? Or did he just think that after so long of being looked up to and revered, as some have put it, having that title he has now, that he thought he could just do anything and get away with it? Yeah, the world may never know, but like I said, I will give you my thoughts about it at the end of my presentation. For now, let's laugh at the coverage of this absolutely inappropriately timed and carried out act of self-care, shall we call it. First off, one of my favorites for many years, Nick DiPaolo. Oh, and depending on your definition of family-friendly, the rest of this video might not be, so proceed at your own risk. Don't say you weren't warned.
I call this segment Jeffrey Caught with Toobin Hand, as in meat tube. Spanking the monkey, waxing the carrot, whatever you want to call it. Masturbating. Imagine he's sitting there, he thinks he's off camera. What? Oh no! That must have been a good feeling. This guy gets caught during a Zoom call! I'm almost thinking he can't be that stupid. He wanted to. Turned out to be an erection stimulation. You pulling out your hog during a Zoom thing and giving it a couple tugs.
Next up is somebody who continues to keep me laughing, no matter what's going on. And I do believe I discovered him through the Officer Tatum channel. Maybe it was suggested to me when I was watching or something like that, but this guy cracks me up. You'll see why.
Then it goes on to say, I made an embarrassing, stupid mistake, I'll say. Now, can you imagine the face on all of those Zoom viewers when they sat back and watched Jeffrey judging Toobin expose and pleasure himself right in front of them? I mean, I'm thinking, what is Jeffrey doing? Why is he giving us... Did somebody accidentally hit the wrong button and bring in some stuff that everybody should be putting a credit card in to watch? I don't get it that way. It says, moments later, he called back in, seemingly unaware of what his colleagues had been able to see. That's the funny part about this. I mean, you call back into the Zoom meeting and everybody probably was dead silent. Like, and Jeffrey like, so what's up? What I miss? They're like, what you mean? What did you just show us? You know, we wish we could have missed what we just saw. What was going on with you, Jeffrey? What you talking about? What is all that on your hand? What? Oh, no. I ran to the bathroom. I had, look, I got to make sure I lotion my. I don't want to get ashy. Jeffrey, you're white. You don't even know what the term ashy means. So you're lying to us. We saw you, Jeffrey. We saw you pleasuring yourself in front of us for some stupid reason. The camera was but look, my kids be playing around with, all right, fine. I couldn't wait. I got desperate and I thought it was kind of a little fantasy thing, but I mean, y'all ain't gonna tell me, are you? The people on the call said they could see Toobin touching his tallywhacker.
I managed to wince through the segment about it on the PU view. Keep an eye on the person on the bottom right-hand corner. She made me crack up too.
Yeah. What do you make of this turn of events, Sarah? Because it seems such a strange thing to do when you know people, you've been working and talking to people. What's your take on this?
I'm sorry. I usually give women a lot of credit for multitasking, but this is a gear switch I could leave to only a man. This was during an election simulation, which is the most, I'm sorry, the most unsexy thing I've ever heard of. And I'm not going to be able to unsee this. I very much miss the days when Jennifer went to the bathroom and forgot to turn off her camera.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I know there's a lot of seriousness to this topic. It's just really hard because I can't fathom a situation where this was the option A and B.
The double entendres in that last sentence, huh? This next guy did all of his presentation with an entirely straight face, and that made it even funnier.
I think what happened here is that he used the same device to make or receive another call, a call designed to stimulate his interest, so to speak. This was essentially multitasking, and just like all multitasking, it doesn't work out as well as people hope. Perhaps he should have simply invested in a separate device for taking care of business, so to speak. He could have left the Zoom meeting. I don't think they would have fired him for that. He could have said, I need to go. Something popped up that I need to handle. He could have said, I'm afraid things will get out of hand if I stayed on the call. Or I need to come to grips with myself. So really there were many, many options. As I mentioned before, he went to Harvard, but given the details of the story, I thought maybe he went to the lesser-known college of Paul Rubens and George Michael. There he could have taken classes with very straightforward course titles that have no alternate meaning. For example, Raising the Mainsail, a course about boating. A critical review of Free Willy, a course about learning how to critique motion pictures. Understanding the 5-digit disco, a review of key metrics from the movie Saturday Night Fever. And One-Handed Typing, a class that helps somebody become more productive at work by freeing up one hand. His mistake was keeping the Zoom call live, and, I suppose, demonstrating an unusual work ethic.
He almost lost it that one time. Next up is Charlemagne the God and the Breakfast Club. They had a great time with this. It was funny.
Personally, I would have seasoned my meatloaf before I got on the Zoom. The relaxing effects of turning on the sprinklers. Okay, sometimes you gotta find those clues with Fred and Daphne and make Scooby do what it do. Okay, listen to me. Masturbation fights depression. All right, back-to-back Zoom calls are depressing. Sometimes you gotta box the one-eyed champ to release that dopamine, to have the energy and strength to make it through a Zoom call. But Jeff, not like this. Okay, you can't have a menage a moi with you making Pearl Jam, but it's a time and a place for everything. Okay, and the Zoom on a business call is not the place. And why does your name, your last name, why does your last name sound like a euphemism for masturbation? Toobin? Toobin sounds like something you would use to describe shaking hands with the milkman on the Zoom. And I'm sure during this pandemic, when people had to socially distance from their cut buddies, all those summer flings that didn't happen, you were away from your side chicks, I'm sure they were replaced with people playing 5-on-1 for some warm custard. But what do you call that? Okay, what do you call masturbation on the Zoom? The answer is Jeff's last name, Toobin. Okay, masturbating on Zoom calls should absolutely be called Toobin from here on out. All right, Toobin your meat on Zoom. Okay, Toobin the purple-headed yogurt slinger on Zoom. Okay, Toobin the mayonnaise river on Zoom. Toobin the hand puppet on Zoom. Listen, a lot of y'all judging Jeff for Toobin on Zoom, but you too have met the Goop Man at midnight on Zoom. All right, just not during a business call. All right, now back in November of 2019, Jeff Toobin was reacting to a New York Times report that Trump was briefed on the whistleblower complaint before releasing military aid to Ukraine. And Jeff's reaction to Trump is our reaction currently to him now.
He got caught.
Simple. Yes, he did get caught. Toobin for tartar sauce on Zoom. Was buffing the vampire slayer, bro.
These guys win the prize for the most euphemisms used in one segment. Laughed my butt off. Still am laughing my butt off. On the East Coast, Mark K gave the average everyday citizen the opportunity to weigh in.
What's he doing there, Jeffrey? Waxing the old shillelagh? I thought CNN was good at cover-ups. Maybe not so much, huh?
Believe it or not, even the Young Turks got in on this action. Check out Anna Kasparian on this one.
But now, like, we got to figure out why election simulations turn him on so much, because that was what was going on during this meeting.
Yeah,
like he is
I don't think
real
so.
excited about election simulations.
Or election stimulation, if you will.
I think Tim Pool was blushing.
Be on a business meeting phone call and start, pulling one out or rubbing or whatever it is you do. He wasn't just whipping it out. He was cranking it out. Allegedly, and I believe this is the technical term here, cranked it real good. That's right. All while allegedly making mayonnaise. Here's what she says. You're going to tell me that you've never cranked your hog, mashed your meat, butter your own muffin?
When I first heard about this was actually one of my first questions, too.
Who was he cranking it to? Was he like looking at videos of his female colleagues and going at it, and they were watching?
I mean, someone on that call had to have made him feel that way. So, even as funny as all this coverage was, it was still incessant coverage. Given the timing of this incident, my take on all of this is that Toobin, to me, was a sacrificial editorial to try and take the lion's share of attention off the Hunter Biden laptop conspiracy at the time. As the laptop conspiracy's press was building pretty well and pretty fast by that time, especially after Twitter's censorship on the Washington Post itself. Tell me again there's no censorship going on, but don't get me distracted. Anyway, I totally think that Toobin was sacrificed in order to divert attention from the former VP and his family dealings. Like I said earlier, Toobin is highly revered. He did this in front of almost everyone else that plays this journalism game and wasn't fired from either of his journalism jobs. Don't forget, he was only suspended from the New Yorker until they supposedly are going to investigate it. I wonder what that's going to look like. And he was literally only just asked for time off from CNN's, and they're not talking about it. So this is my prediction about this situation. Toobin is going to get his own show. It'll probably be after the election, more than likely. Things are going to have to blow over just a little bit and everything like that. But this is the thing that kind of generally happens to someone in that business. Either that or he's going to write a new book and they want it to be a bestseller, so they're grooming the public about it right now. What'll happen is he'll end up as some kind of redeemed victim, and everyone that hasn't already will come to his defense and then buy his book and make him even richer than he is now. He's a several millionaire from what I've read and heard, and I say this because there were so many outlets that actually defended this guy's actions straight out the gate from the get-go. One of the other journalists even went as far as asking the public, who hasn't done this in front of their workers? I'm like, who are these people working for? What are their offices like? And one other thing I couldn't get over, what in the hell were those that were actually watching this thinking at the time and didn't say anything? Had I been on that call, I would have been hollering at that man, hey, what the hell are you doing over there? We can see you, dude. Why were his viewers silent until the callback? What the hell, man? It was as if they had never seen anyone do that before or something. Maybe they even liked it. Me, I would have been loud. Hey, you're doing something inappropriate and you better stop. Maybe they were looking for something to actually get him in trouble about. Like I said before, the world may never know. Personally, I heard enough about it to totally not want to know anything else about it than I already do, and that's already still too much. Oh, and sorry, MSN, your little attention diversion didn't work. In fact, the one person that I noticed didn't even hint at it is the president. He stayed on the Biden topic the whole time, and he still is. I actually wish I could have, but I did get a few laughs in. A lot of folks covered it just for the intensity break of the ongoing elections and the absolute terror that's been transpiring in some of these blue cities and states. Not to mention the ever-mounting evidence and witnesses that keep piling up on the Bidens. I wonder why he won't be campaigning until Election Day. After all this hoopla, though, my only question to you, Mr. Toobin, is WTF is wrong with you? Ew! I do hope you enjoyed my video today and that it gave you a laugh or two. If you do enjoy my work and you'd like to support me so that I can continue to do this while I'm growing into my live call-in talk show, please share this video, subscribe, like, comment, and of course, a donation would be the ultimate. Still trying to feed the kitty. My P.O. box is below also if you want to send me something or if you do not have on if you're not on PayPal. Don't forget to smash that notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. All my links are below in the description, and thank you in advance. Thank you for clicking on my little acre of the internet today. Until next time.
Did you ever bop your baloney?